The Digital Publishing Suite, or DPS for short, is Adobe's answer to the question of how to publish to tablets like Apple's iPad and Amazon's Kindle Fire. In this video, I'll discuss the DPS tools and outline the process of using them. One of the first things to know about DPS is that it comes in 3 separate editions, although you use the same tools in InDesign regardless of which edition you have. The 3 editions are Enterprise Edition, Professional Edition, and Single Edition. And on Adobe's DPS website, you can view a detailed comparison chart. The Enterprise Edition is aimed at large global publishing companies. It can be integrated with other publishing systems, and it includes high-end features that the other editions don't offer, like in-depth analytics and the ability to customize the interface of the application used to view DPS publications, which is called the Content Viewer. The Enterprise Edition allows you to sell single issues or subscriptions to a publication through the Apple App Store and the Kindle Fire newsstand. The cost of the Enterprise Edition includes both a platform fee and a download fee based on the number of downloads of each publication purchased by customers. The Professional Edition of DPS is aimed at mid-sized publishers. Like the Enterprise Edition, it allows publishers to sell single issues or subscriptions through the app stores. And it includes access to analytics reports. But you do not have the ability to customize the Content Viewer with the Professional Edition. And like the Enterprise Edition, the Professional Edition is available either as a monthly subscription or as an annual purchase. And the cost includes both a platform fee and a download fee based on the number of downloads of each folio file purchased by customers. The Single Edition of DPS is aimed at individual users and small companies. It allows you to create a single publication in what's called a folio file for the Apple App Store for a one-time fee, and there are no additional charges for downloads. You can't publish to the Kindle Fire or Android devices with the Single Edition. As of this recording, the fee for the Single Edition that you can submit to the Apple's App Store is $395. However, you can also get access to the Single Edition with a membership to Adobe's Creative Cloud service. It's also worth noting that macOS is required to use the Viewer Builder application that bundles folio files for you to submit to the App Store. Now, those are the 3 editions of DPS, but you don't need to purchase any of them to get started. You can design and create folio files, preview them on tablets like the iPad and the Kindle Fire, and share folios with other people, all with just InDesign and the DPS tools that you can download and use for free. So let's look at those tools and the basic DPS workflow. InDesign is at the center of the DPS workflow. As always, it's where you create your layouts. Overlays are the interactive elements you can add to your DPS publications. They're called overlays because when you export an InDesign layout to a folio, all the non-interactive items are exported as a background image, either a PDF, a JPEG, or a PNG, and the interactive overlays sit on top of that background image. You manage overlays with a panel called the Folio Overlays panel, and there are 8 kinds of interactivity that you can add to a folio. There are some differences in the ways you have to go about creating these various overlays. For the first 5 that I mentioned, hyperlink slideshows, audio-video, pan and zoom, and scrollable frames, you first create or place objects in InDesign and then use the Folio Overlays panel to edit them. For the other 3, image sequences, panoramas, and web content, you have to first draw an empty frame and then use the Folio Overlays panel to place content into that frame. After you've added the interactivity you want, you use the Folio Builder panel to assemble content into articles, and then assemble articles into an overall package called a folio. You can then preview the folio with a separate desktop application called the Adobe Content Viewer, or you can also preview a folio on an iPad or other mobile device by using the Adobe Content Viewer app. With an Adobe ID, you can sign into the Folio Producer website, which is part of Acrobat.com, and edit the folio and share it with anyone else with an Adobe ID. Finally, if you're a subscriber to the Professional or Enterprise Edition, or if you've purchased a Single Edition license, you can publish your finished folio to places like the Apple App Store. All right, now that we've taken a bird's eye view of the process and the tools involved in the DPS workflow, it's time to start looking at the details. We'll start by looking at the various kinds of interactivity we can add to a layout in the Folio Overlays panel.